All right, and let me check the other things, make sure they're all muted. Doop, 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 doop. Oop, oop. That one. That one. Huh. Where's my other one? All right. Looks like we're good to go. Hello and welcome to WyzGyz Entertainment. This is your host Wyman. We are joined by a very, very special guest. Trisha, is it pronounced Cuffari?
Yep.
AKA Dannphan. I did not break it, Frago. We are good to go. I'm just double checking some stuff. With YouTube and all their changes to their algorithm and stuff since the pandemic, they have a tendency to false flag things frequently. So I try and keep a version of my stream running while I'm live so that I can better keep an eye on it, so that if they do false flag me, then I'm not rambling on for hours on end thinking that I'm live and only to find out later I've lost that whole stream. At least earlier on I can catch it early, and if I need to stop and start a part 2, for example. Hey, welcome Fate Salvation. Hail Wolverine. Hail Frago Funding. Good to see y'all, guys. See all of you. So Trisha, you are a YouTuber, a comic creator, amateur songwriter as well. You're like a superhero powerhouse all in one.
Well, I haven't been doing many songwriting lately. It's more so like stuff from way, way back, I guess.
Stuff from way, way back? How so? How do you mean?
Well, like there's old songs on my channel, but I haven't really been uploading new songs or anything.
Gotcha. And hold on a sec. Something offline, real work related. One moment, please. Hang tight, everyone. All right. Sorry about that. All right. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Ba-dum-bum-ba-dum-bum. Unlike Fade, I win 1 million matches in Fall Guys. Smug face. Okay. You dance to Fade. I'm not sure what the reference is there. All right. So, what was it like growing up, or how did you even get involved in all this, like pop culture? It looks like you had anime origins. What is your origin story, as you might call it?
Origin story. I was always very super into cartoons and animation, And throughout school, I would, with my free time, I would be like drawing up comics and handing them off to friends. Very bad comics, as you can imagine, because I was a kid, but you know. And yeah, later on, I didn't go to the 4-year school for animation like I originally intended, but instead I decided to just use whatever artistic or creative skills I have and try to do my own thing. So now here I am on YouTube making comics.
Right, so you just decided one day you're interested in comics and you just jumped right into it. Did you have to? Uh, so you were starting down the
I
formal,
was originally going the animation route.
and what was it about? I mean, what made you change from animation? I mean, did you get kind of tired of it? The repetition of, um, doing the same image like 32 times to form 1 second of animation.
Well, honestly, I was just really disappointed with the animation industry because I really was into 2D animation and like traditional stuff, and it seems like we're going into the route of only 3D animation or only like CGI stuff for big budget movies, and I didn't really want to go down that route. So
Mm,
I drifted closer towards something that was 2D, even if it were just still images. That's still more attractive to me than going the computer animation route.
right, right. I kind of like I like both 2D and 3D, but of course I grew up in 2D, so
Mm.
uh, that's ultimately where my heart is. But when Pixar came onto the scene, I thought their work was pretty righteous, and they seemed to be focused on telling a good story, uh, and at the same time pulling at your heartstrings whenever they could. Uh,
Right.
but then as soon as Disney went and acquired Pixar, it was like 3D seemed to take over the company, and it's as though Disney decided to leave its roots behind. And I think Disney would still be a huge powerhouse in the 2D environment because they got the talent still to release big budget 2D films, 2D animated films, and I think they could work walk side by side. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
Um, what do you? What is it about 2D animation that you prefer over the 3D trend?
Well, 2D animation just kind of has this really, I guess, personal touch to it. Well, as there's a lot of quote unquote improvements to 3D animation, which really just involves importing textures and new textures to import to make like hair look more realistic or to make clothes look more realistic. But there's no personal touch to that. It's
Mm,
just
yeah.
like all computer AI stuff.
And it seems at times like uh, it kind of does the opposite of what you're intending with 3D, where it can like pull the personality out of the character you're making.
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, like you said, it seems to have a personal touch when you look back at all the traditional 2D cell animation. There's a certain vibrancy, um, uh, action, personality, and then with 3D, oftentimes everyone seems to go the same general route, and the characters start all looking the same. Um, I think it's similar to other industries where let's say you've got the auto industry, you got your classic muscle cars. You had different looking cars, but nowadays it's like cookie cutter. Most every Toyota Corolla looks the same. Most every VW Bug looks the same. Um, they don't seem to have very unique lines anymore. It's all mass production and stuff, and that's what I think 3D animation is like nowadays.
Mm.
So do when it comes to you still do animation, right?
Not super often. Every now and then, like I'll do something a little short, but you know.
When you do animation, are you doing literally like are you going really down to basics such as uh, like pencil and paper? Have you ever tried using plastic cells and painting on them, uh, and then using photographing every image one at a time and then compiling it all into a reel? Or are you doing like animation using software on a computer or on a tablet?
I've definitely used pencil and paper before. More recent stuff has been like just me drawing each frame on the computer. I don't actually have any animation software though, so I just draw it on clip art and then import it one frame at a time.
Oh, wow. You draw it on clipart. So is it a program called clipart?
Yeah, it's like a Photoshop for comic and manga creators.
Okay. But you don't use what was called, it used to be called Manga Studio, and I think it's now called Clip Art Studio.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, you do use that?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's a very popular program.
Yeah.
A lot of people are into that. That's pretty cool. Welcome, Kami Mark. Good to have you. Good to have you, Hale. All right. And that's got to be a trip. So do you have a preference for like anime/manga, or are you into like Western style 2D animation, or do you like some of each?
Oh yeah, I like a little bit of each. I like whatever is good.
Whatever's good.
Yeah.
Do you have any particular titles of either animated series or movies that you're really into, that you're a huge fan of?
Well, I'm a pretty big fan of Mob Psycho 100. It's a classic for people who are into one's work, I guess. You know.
Cool, cool. And now I have to say, Frago is very much more into the anime manga scene than I am, so he'll be more apt to recognize these titles that you bring up as we go along than I would. Well, the stuff that I've considered to be things like anime and manga have included things like Star Blazers, Macross, Robotech, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. But I've also really enjoyed those movies like Kiki's Delivery Service.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
And isn't there one that's something along the lines of something Flying Tower? Or
Castle in the Sky?
I think there was another one. Oh dear, I'm blanking out.
Howl's Moving Castle?
Yeah, Howl's Moving Castle. That's the one. And then I think there's a different movie that's also kind of in the same. Well, I don't know if it's really in the same genre, but there's this there's this movie. It's sort of similar to today's Coco from Pixar, where a kid explores the spirit world.
Spirited Away.
Spirited Away. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was probably my favorite.
those are such cool movies. I really enjoy them. That reminds me, I gotta watch them again. Call Me Mark says, I like watching Dannphan's channel. She's very funny while being able to remain neutral. That's a skill. Oh yeah, Fate Salvation's into this stuff too. Love Mob Psycho 100. I have not watched it. Where do you usually watch it? Like Crunchyroll?
I think it's a Funimation dub, but they also have it on Adult Swim along with like One Punch Man.
Do they really? Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I think so.
I hear One Punch Man is pretty popular too.
Oh, definitely. They're both by the same guy.
Oh, okay. All right. Learned something new. And Avatar: The Last Bender, I hear a lot of talk about. I hear it's not as good as it used to be, the direction they're taking, but let's see here. Watching her videos and the likes of Shoe on Head inspired me to start the Comicscape propaganda videos. Pretty cool. Yeah, Frog Love. Howl's Moving Castle, that's the one, yeah. I think it's pronounced Ghibli, Studio Ghibli. Stuff is excellent, even for us non-anime types. Oh, and is Cowboy Bebop considered anime manga?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I used to watch some of that too. In developing your own style, I mean, was it pretty easy ultimately to come up with your own style of animation and art, or did you draw specific influences from particular creators?
Well, I definitely took a lot of inspiration from anime when I was growing up drawing my own comics. So I think that I'm just like naturally better at drawing the very simple anime style. As far as like trying to come up with my own style, I'm just kind of all over the place.
Hmm. All right. When you use the manga or clip art studio software to do your clip art pieces, do you use like a certain pen or a certain brush? Like what kind of digital medium do you use? Do you use acrylics, oils, inks, pastels? Well, I don't think you use pastels, do you?
No, it's mostly just like the pen tools that I use.
Okay. So is most of what you do nowadays digital, or do you still jump back and forth and go to traditional from time to time?
It's usually all digital. Every now and then I'll like take out a sketchbook and sketch something, but normally everything that I do will just be on the computer because I figure, well, it saves time.
That it does. Uh, I notice that when I watch uh, tutorials like time lapse videos of people drawing or painting, that sometimes if they're doing it digitally, they'll save time by, let's say you need to resize a person's hand or something, so they'll like do the like a lasso effect around the hand, and then use either zoom or resize tool, and then just plop it back, and most of it's done for you, as opposed to taking an eraser tool, erasing the hand, and redrawing the hand from scratch.
Right.
Do you do that kind of stuff, or does it really vary depending on the work and what it is you're trying to accomplish?
Well, like the easy part about like clip art is you can do multiple layers. So like I do like one sketch layer and then I'll use like the lasso to like fix up stuff, fix up proportions, and then the next layer I'll actually go by and start inking everything and making it actually look pretty.
Oh, nice, nice. Would you say that? I mean, I know you started studying animation in school, but did you have like a natural talent for drawing ever since you were much younger and making little comics for your friends?
No, I think my drawings really sucked. They're really bad. They're still pretty bad even as an adult, and I'm still kind of learning as I go how to draw things better.
You probably did way better than how people revert to stick drawings, stick
Yeah,
figures.
right.
Because I mean, from everything I've seen, your stuff is pretty up there in terms of quality, which is nice.
Mm.
Um, very cool stuff. And let me see what else. Let's see if I missed anything. I think I read this one. Ghibli stuff is excellent, even for us non-enemy types. Shu has gotten weird. Still funny though, and that's what I'm after. Yeah, I love funny little cartoons, even if they're real short. Let's see. Out of curiosity, do you still have your friends from childhood and still put together little comics and share them with them, see what they think?
Not really friends from the past per se. It's hard to stay in touch with people after like high school, really. But I have new friends online who I can share stuff with and get some opinions every now and then.
Nice, nice. So, would you say you spend more time like drawing digitally, for example, or spend more time doing little animated shorts, cartoons?
Well, probably definitely drawing because I don't don't do too many shorts anymore. But
Do you eventually anticipate going back into doing animated shorts down the road?
yeah, I part of me wanted to do some more animated shorts to like promote new comics that I'm coming out with, and even if I don't do the animated shorts myself, maybe like put together a team or hire someone to do it for me, just so I have some animation.
Well, that's cool. And the great part about your skill set is uh, you literally can do anything, right? I mean, like you release a comic book that you created and did all the work on, and you can, with your animation background, you can do an intro video all by yourself too, which is pretty trippy.
My God, that would take a really long time. Do all the comic art and then also do a whole animation for it.
Yeah, I imagine so. I mean, there's a reason why they have whole crews of people, a whole crews of animators working on a single project. Uh,
Mm.
but I mean, in terms of, well, I guess when it comes down to it, it is still time consuming because even if you had like a 2 or 3 minute intro video talking about your comic book, excuse me, the work that goes into an animated short is still considerable. Yeah.
Man.
So you are also a YouTuber, and as was mentioned earlier, let me see. So there's a question on if you have any plans after this book.
Yeah, I have a few other books in mind, but I'm not sure which ones I'm gonna focus on next.
Do you actually have all the scripts or the stories written for all these other projects, and it's just a matter of picking the one you want to pursue next?
Yeah. I write up scripts all the time, so and there's no shortage of ideas.
How long are is the typical script? Like, does it last? Is it like 20, 30 pages, or is it even longer?
Well, I guess it depends, like, what kind of story I'm looking to write and how long I think that it should be. Like writing an issue, it could be like 20 to 30 pages. Writing a graphic novel, probably more like 40 to 80 or 100.
Uh, so Frago is inquiring about your stance on all the weird redraws of the sexier, cute characters and attempts of weirdos to demonize attractive women in anime.
Well, obviously, people can draw whatever they want, but it is kind of weird to have such a problem with a character that you want to redesign her to fit your image of what she should look like. Just like how I respect another artist's choice to draw whatever they want, you should also like respect the source.
Yeah, I definitely think that yeah, that's a very good point because it seems like a lot of the big entertainment companies are like drifting away further and further away uh, from the source material. I mean, I can understand doing like alternate reality kind of stories or Elseworlds types of stories, but when you're significantly changing the core quote unquote canon of it, uh, I just start having trouble understanding why they go that direction.
Hmm.
How did uh, how did you get into YouTubing? I mean, it's kind of a in a sense, it's kind of an art form unto itself. Having and maintaining a channel.
Yeah, like most people, it just kind of started out as like a hobby, and then it grew and grew, and then here I am making casual videos every week and still growing.
Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, I'm just looking over varied collection of videos. Let me see something here. Where is it? They said it started as a hobby,
Hmm.
and is it one of those things that your friends know that you do it and they dig it, or is it like a more private side of you that your friends don't know about it, but the rest of the world does?
Yeah, friends and family all know that I do it. Even if I wanted to hide it from them, it's not going to happen. They are all aware.
Do they all watch your videos and stuff and comment?
Yeah, some of them watch my videos, and sometimes that can be a little bit awkward depending on what the subject of the video is, but you know.
Common Mark says, to be frank, we have done redesigns on the likes of Captain Marvel, or more recently that Wonder Woman cover. Yeah, we were guilty of that too. Froggo's saying, I'm talking about the more extreme ones, like making Uzaki-chan shaped like an eggplant and super hairy. Oh man, are you familiar with that? Because I
Yeah,
don't think I've seen that.
you know, like I said, some people just do things out of spite, and it can be a little bit cringy, to say the least.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree there. Yeah, I'm just checking out some of your videos. Man, you've been doing this for a long time. Well, at least significantly longer than I have.
Well, that's how you grow. You just keep at it.
Curb your Serena Williams. So you're like you're covering seemingly most every topic from the She-Ra animated series, the Captain Marvel movie, uh, discussing the comic book industry with alternate comics, unboxings, WyzKids Elf Clerk, oh, plus Ballista. Yeah. Oh, what is the origin of the screen name or nickname Dannphan?
Well, I was big into cartoons, and when I first made the account, I was like a big fan of the Danny Phantom that was currently on TV. So the name just kind of stuck after a while.
Okay. Disney Princesses, One Piece. One Piece is also a manga, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sounds familiar. Yeah, yeah, so much cool content. And so, as a YouTuber, do you tend to agree with the people who say YouTube's algorithm is most beneficial when you keep uh, uploading videos rather than streaming? And
Yeah, I probably would say that.
and then I can my eyes got drawn to Bree bumps head in an interview, and then also that um, uploaded videos on the YouTube channel should be somewhere between 7 and maybe 15 minutes max.
Yeah, I usually say that like 10 minutes. It's a good video length.
About the length of time that most people will have their attention span on a particular subject.
Mm.
Out of curiosity, I haven't seen this specific video, your Shazam review. Can you tell me briefly what your thoughts were on the movie?
I thought it was decent.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I thought it was better than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Froggo says, my hobby is staring at a fishing pole and not catching anything for hours. Yeah, that's basically what fishing is. I never really got good at fishing, actually. You know, yeah, let's see. Tommy Mark says, I always assumed it came from the Pokemon Dannphan.
Yeah, there's also that.
uh, so for those interested in maybe starting their own YouTube channel, do you have any particular advice or suggestions? Any lessons learned, things that you might have done differently had you known it sooner?
Um, I I guess good advice would just be like talk about relevant topics, make nice eye-catching thumbnails, share on social media, and you know, encourage engagement, all the basic stuff.
Right on. Right on. Control. Oh, wait a minute. Do you? I saw this other thing that caught my eye. Japanese candy from Tokyo Treat. Do you get like those monthly boxes of treats?
Yeah, every now and then. I really like candy. But, I don't have a monthly subscription or anything.
Oh, okay. It was just like one of those off things you decided to try one time.
Yeah. It's just like one of those random fun videos.
Nice, nice. Speaking of which, I know let's see, you've got a YouTube channel, you've got a website, and you also have a subscribe star.
Mhm.
Let's see. So, for those like me who aren't particularly familiar with what Subscribe Star is about, can you tell us a little more?
Well, it's basically a little subscription, I guess service is the way to describe it, where you pay like a monthly fee and then you get access to posts that I put up on there. And sometimes it's just like extra art, and I also, do comics, like first look at comic pages that I'm finishing up. So if you wanted to like read stuff early, you could go on there and, you know.
Oh, cool. So, now, do you have this on top of memberships through YouTube?
No, I don't do memberships on YouTube.
Oh, why is that?
Because they take 30%.
Oh, right. So that's like an opt-in service where you choose whether or not you want to do memberships, and then if you're not interested, then you just never activate it or something.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
They make it seem like you should do it, or like you have to do it to advance YouTube or something, but nah, you don't have to do that.
Oh, well, that's good to know. And you also have an Instagram, it looks like. Yeah.
Yep.
Subscribe to our Instagram, Twitter. Nice. Um, wow. Yeah, 48.2 thousand subscribers. That's sweet.
Woo.
Do you ever imagine you'd be that this big?
No.
That's a trip. 42,000 subs. Um, yeah, you're killing it. So with Subscribestar, do they take any kind of cut? Or
Yeah, they take like a 5%.
all right,
So it's like significantly lower than YouTube.
for sure. And if you wanted to, would you actually have the opportunity to add more subscription tiers than
I could, but yeah.
yeah, I imagine that would be a lot to manage if you had a bunch more tiers.
Right.
Sweet. Artwork, news and updates, concept art. Oh, and you got links to share it. Does the website help provide this service of locking, privatizing images, or do you have to do funky stuff to it?
I'm sorry, what?
You see how when you scroll through these pages, all these updates that are only accessible by Subscribe Star members,
Mm-hmm.
you got the privacy lock, and then you've got like a blurred out version.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you do to your own images, or do they basically help, blur it out and lock it?
Yeah, Subscribe Share does that.
Ah, cool. Nice. That's pretty cool. That's a good idea. Would you tell us some more about burning? Actually, hold on. Let me see if I missed anything here. Froggo says fishing is like sex. You don't have to be good at it to enjoy it. Oh gosh. So, is Subscribe Star like Patreon?
Yeah, it's basically just like a Patreon alternative.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Patreon somewhere in the middle? Like they charge less of a, they take less of a cut than YouTube, but more of a cut than Subscribe Star.
Uh, I think they're about the same,
Oh,
but
yep.
I don't know.
Okay. So you got a website, burningstarcomics.net.
Mhm.
What is how did you come up with Burning Star?
Um, that's it's a whole thing. I had a bunch of like different icons that I was like testing out, different names, and nobody would help me. So at one point, I just settled.
Oh, you can get any feedback from the public
I
or
tried.
your friends or family?
Nobody had any input whatsoever, it seemed.
Oh my gosh, what the heck? I actually kind of like it, even though I don't really know much about the the origin. It's a cute little icon, and uh, it's kind of like saying you're on fire.
Right.
BurningstarComics.net. So you got these two comics. So only is this USD $1.49 each?
Yeah.
Are these web comics, or are they actual comics you can purchase?
No, it's downloading PDFs.
Oh, all right.
At one point, I want to like just make it readable on the site, but
So it was embedded. So all the pages were embedded. That's what you were originally going for.
uh, yes.
All right. As opposed to, yeah, like you said, as opposed to it being PDFs that you download and
Yeah.
send via email, it would be right there. It would like unlock the paywall, and then you'd be able to see the strip and read it online. Well, not the strip, but the comic book.
Right.
Let's see. Eli the Eliminator. Eli's a deadly robot made for a mission to go back in time and destroy her master's greatest enemy, Calvin Cardigan, back when he is a defenseless child. However, Eli is not very good at it.
Yeah, it's just a silly little comic that I was working on the side.
So it's kind of a play on the whole Terminator.
Exactly, yeah.
Is Eli the Eliminator something that is a regular series that you're doing?
Yeah, whenever I get the time, I work on it.
Oh, okay. About us. Welcome to Brainstar Comics, a small hometown for comics near and dear to my heart. Here you can buy digital, check out some merch, and even spend time enjoying some free webcomics. So go explore and find something you like. Or check out our YouTube channel and enjoy some behind the scenes commentary, speed paints, and animations. Yeah, those are fun. Speed paints and animations.
Yeah.
So I was already at the homepage. Let's check out some merch. Eli the Eliminator. Oh, and you've got your Burning Star logo. All right.
Yeah. It's just a little Teespring store, but
Oh, black and white as well.
Mhm.
That actually pops on this background. Is it all navy blue or is that black?
No, you can click on the shirt and there'll be other color options, but
Oh, all right. I like the way it comes across on a dark background.
yeah.
Wait a minute. Homeware. Oh, all right. T-shirts. You do phone cases too? Oh, yeah, you do. I wonder what version of iPhone that is. So it's probably 10 Max or B4. Oh, all right. Wow. All right. Yeah, quite a selection. Nice. Cool. And then bags. I think I saw the bag at the front, but let me double check. Okay, yeah, tote bags. All right, right on. The official merch. The official merch site. That's cool. And then you got freebies. Absent-minded, intellectually disabled man given the opportunity to surpass his perfect brother in exchange for the pendant around his neck. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, they're just a couple of old comics I did in the past, and put up here just so like there's a place for them.
That's a good idea. Nice Guy's Guide to Getting Women. Nice Guys finish last? Yes, I do. No way. Not when you get advice from virgin soy. Oh my gosh. Here's how to show you guys how it was done in the official guide to getting women. Oh my gosh. All right, I guess I'll have to read that.
That one I actually did in like 5 hours as part of a 5-hour comic challenge.
A 5-hour comic challenge.
Yep, make a comic in 5 hours.
Was that something like one of those internet viral challenges or?
And something like that. I'm not sure if that many people did it, but I made a video doing it because I thought it'd be fun. A neat little personal challenge,
Yeah, it is a fun idea. Kitten in the clouds. A curious kitten who lives on the cloud reaches for a star in the sky. Aw. And that's a cute kitten, too. What a trip. Really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. Let's see here. Wolverine says it can be damn hard to get feedback when you're looking for it. True.
Mm-hmm.
Even harder to get useful feedback.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely people out there who will just say they hate everything and won't give you any advice at all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if you're ever interested in like advice or feedback, you're always welcome to reach out to me. Let's see. Subscribe Star is better than Patreon, says Fade. I'll have to consider that. I heard these horror stories. Well, let's see. Frogs are better than humans. uh, I don't know if you watch it, but there's a channel called Clownfish TV.
Oh, yeah.
And I like watching them. They had this story about, well, I think several YouTube channels picked it up. News of this one content creator who had a Patreon account. And then Patreon decided to implement these rules where they wanted to be overly nosy and have access to like your Google Drive and make sure that it was like some crazy attempt to make sure that people weren't stealing copyrighted material.
Right.
And they closed down her Patreon, citing copyright violations, but they were citing copyright violations of her own content. It was insane. So it's like they thought that she was stealing her own content, so they shut down her Patreon or suspended it. But when in doing so, it means that she was the type of creator who just let all her earnings build up, because she had merch and stuff like that. So she let her funds build up, and then only periodically or occasionally would make her withdrawals, right?
Right.
That account. But so they suspended it, and if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, but if I'm not mistaken, they're withholding something like somewhere between $100,000 and $150,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she has no access to it. I don't know what the latest is, but Patreon seems to be cracking down on like the anime and manga industries because they're saying anime and manga characters are underage.
Yeah.
So it might be construed as child porn, so we're not going to allow that kind of content. So it's getting really weird on Patreon from what I hear. So
yes, it is.
Yeah, that's why I haven't made the jump to Patreon. I was about to, but then started hearing all this bad stuff. I mean, if they're going to really go hardcore into censorship of manga and anime, then it's not a good sign.
Well, there's always other alternatives, so they're really not in a good position to be scaring away customers.
Oh yeah, that's a fact. Hi, Max Works, welcome. How's it going? Here. Tell us a little more about your songwriting.
My songwriting?
Yeah.
I play guitar. I dabble a little bit on the piano, and every now and then I'll come up with a little tune in my head, and then I'll add lyrics, and then I'll play it sometimes, maybe even record myself and upload it on YouTube, but not super often.
Oh, nice. So, would you say you're also a poet? Because
Yeah, I guess.
because songwriting, I think, has some basis in poetry.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, and it doesn't even have to rhyme. It it can be the style that doesn't have any rhyming, actually. Um, do you actually have? Let me see. I forgot to check if your YouTube channel happened to have the songs broken out separately in skits, favorites. Oh, songs. All right. So you do have a bunch of songs. Oh, and you've also got some advice. Nice. Comic news, anime, comic manga reviews, games. Oh, cool. Wow. You got a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah.
So you're gonna upload it to iTunes?
I think I don't need to do that, but
I have to spend like a weekend just going through all your content. Do a binge watch. So, would you consider yourself a gamer too?
I don't know. I don't know too many people who like play video games who like actually call themselves gamers. So I don't know if I'm super cringy for saying that I'm a gamer, but I play video games for fun, as I assume most people do.
Yeah. Wow. Brawlhalla. I've heard of that, but I've never played that. Marvel Ultimate Alliance too. Isn't that uh, like a game for the phone, or is that actually on like consoles?
That was on Steam that we were playing
Oh,
that on. Yeah.
all right. Soul Calibur 6, nice. Jump Force, not familiar with. Soul Calibur 5. Have you passed these games?
Have I passed them?
Yeah, gone to the end of the game,
Yeah.
completed the story.
Most of the time, I just verse my friends, but sometimes I'll go story mode, get a
Okay.
little practice in.
Yeah, I mean, I love gaming. I hadn't done it in quite some time. Actually, years. I kind of transitioned into playing a select few games on my phone. Uh, but recently, since I started the channel, I started playing some games on Steam. Uh, but if I can figure out a way to do so, I'd like to be able to hook up my Atari Jaguar console to my computer. That would be a
Mhm.
real trip. Colonel Sanders saved my life. Colonel Sanders saved my. Is that a game on Steam?
Oh yeah, that one was a free one on Steam. They made it strictly for promotion of KFC.
Oh, I
I
bet.
thought it was super funny, so I had to play it.
Oh, yeah. It sounds like it would be funny. Uh, is it one of those types of games that has like endless levels, or does it?
It's actually a dating simulator.
What?
Yeah.
Colonel Sanders is a dating simulator?
Yeah, you have to win his heart.
Oh my gosh. Now I really gotta check that out.
Super goofy.
Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Knuckles. Wow.
Yeah, those ones I just did for like short videos, but
Oh, gotcha.
nostalgic videos.
Let's see here. Do you Max Work says, oh, so Dannphan sings a song at the end of her videos?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Cool. Max Work says, for the Jaguar console, you would need a TV card to plug into the cable that goes in the TV in the computer instead. TV card to plug into the cable. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. All right. That is a lot of fun. You got all kinds of wild stuff.
Yeah.
A little bit of everything. Okay. I can't stand the anticipation. Advice on character creation, advice on overpowered characters, cliches and tropes, and motivation and inspiration. Oh, cool.
Yeah, I should make more of those sometime, but they sometimes some of them make a little require a little bit more preparation to figure out what I want to talk about.
When it comes to character creation, I'll check that out later. But are you the type who tends to create your game character to resemble you as close as possible?
Eh, eh, I guess it depends what the story is. Most of the time, I don't want to like. I mean, obviously, the writer of a story will like puppet their own emotions and feelings into whatever they're writing, but usually I try to get a bit more creative with it.
Cool. Let's see. Max Work says, but that is old knowledge. Maybe there's a better way nowadays for plugging in old consoles into the computer to play there in Steam. Yeah. Um, and then there's also the whole emulators thing. I don't know of an emulator for Jaguar, but maybe there is one. But I just thought it would be fun since I have an original Jaguar and it still is functional. It would just be nice to play it again and use the traditional cartridges.
Mm.
Welcome, Matanui. Good to have you here. Good to have you. What is your creative process when it comes to songwriting?
Um, it's usually just like on a whim. It's like sometimes I'll just get a melody in my head, and sometimes I'll actively want to make a song, but it's usually like spur of the moment whenever I make a song.
And so it's not one of those things where you tend to get bursts of inspiration in the shower and then you go, oh, this will make a great song.
Yeah, a lot of writers have that with stories too. They're like, just came up with a great idea for a story.
Is your creative process for doing comic books and web comics similar in that?
Well, I'll definitely come up with ideas like spur of the moment, and I always like keep a little document filled with ideas for the future. But then when it comes to actively making it happen, it requires a lot more attention to detail than songs do. There's a lot more to think about and stuff to plan out, figure out how the story flows, and all of that jazz. But yeah, inspiration can be kind of similar in the sense that it's just like a burst of creativity.
Nice. Did you did you self did you take formal classes or did you teach yourself how to play piano and guitar?
For the most part, I've taught myself. sometimes if I want to play a specific song, I'll look up how to do it on YouTube. But I never like took classes to read music or anything. It's just kind of like figuring it out.
So, like with the guitar, for example, you might catch a video on here's how to pull off this certain section, the certain segment of music, and then you focus on the chords and the order in which they're played, um, that kind of stuff, or
Yeah, yeah. I just like observe what they're doing with their hands and duplicate.
mm, gotcha. Yeah, it's one of those things with uh, one of the things I like so much about YouTube is there's such a community out there who, do all these how-to and training videos and DIY videos, and you can learn so freaking much just by watching other people's training videos.
Yeah.
You can self-teach yourself. So, can you read music?
No, I cannot.
Okay. Do you happen to be one of those individuals who you hear a tune or a piece of music and you have a way of immediately translating it naturally? Like repeating it just from having heard it? Can you
Yeah,
replicate it?
well, you can do that pretty easily if you just like fiddle around with the sound on like the keyboard. After a little while, you can figure out, oh, okay, so that's this note and da, 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 da.
Mm. And when you do play music, do you basically just have a microphone near the instrument, or do you do fancy stuff like hook it up to a soundboard and mixer and tweak it some and then upload it?
I usually just play in front of a microphone, nothing too fancy.
Mm, gotcha. Maxwork says too many options for character creation can be horrible. I was meddling around so long in the character creation thing back in the days when Oblivion was a thing. After that, I did not play the game. Oh my gosh. I was so bored. Oh man. Yeah, that's one of the crazy things. I mean, I usually have I usually have one of two types of go-tos when it comes to character creation for me. In a game, either I try and create a character that closely resembles my looks and build, uh, but sometimes sometimes it's fun to play the female characters because you get to stare at yourself while you're playing. Yeah, I'm one of those goofball weirdos. King KDI says, "Welcome." With that, Jazz, how are you coming along with the action adventure upcoming comic? Got the base in set yet?
Well, I have a few ideas for what could be the next, but still figuring things out.
Nice, nice. Oh my gosh. So you've done comics. You're a YouTuber. You're regularly putting out content, and you also sing. You also dance.
No, not a dancer.
All right. I wouldn't be surprised if you were, though. I mean, that sounds like the workings of an animated series. Have you thought about creating your own cartoon series?
Oh, all the time.
Max Work says, if you need an artist for something on that, let me know. Smile. Yeah, there's all kinds of creators out there. It's pretty amazing. It's nice to see people pursuing what they're passionate about.
No, definitely.
Do you, in pursuing all these varied ventures, you're in all kinds of different fields. Um, do you ever find yourself entering into new areas with nervousness or anxiety, or are you are you the type who takes things on like a challenge and you just want to tackle it and beat it?
Well, I'm constantly anxious. I'm just, getting by one step at a time, trying to focus on whatever I got to focus on to get things done.
Out of curiosity, and obviously you don't have to go into heavy details or anything that might potentially dox you, but do you do like a regular 9 to 5 job on top of doing all of this, making music, doing comics, doing YouTube?
No, I mostly just do work from home and do like commission work and stuff like that.
Oh wow! How long have you been doing commission work?
For most of my life, I guess.
Holy moly! I mean, how do you get into that field in the first place? I mean, do
Well, a
you?
lot of people will contact me directly via email or on Twitter, and they'll be like, "Hey, can you do this for me?" I don't typically advertise commissions just because I don't want to be too overwhelmed, but
Mm, so when it comes to commissions, do people typically ask you? I mean, do they want you to? Do they usually ask you to do like some one-off image of maybe their favorite character, or do they want you working on like one of their uh, a portion of like an animation, or do they want your feedback on how to write engaging music for a piece they're doing?
yeah, sometimes it's like just art pieces that they want done as like a present or something. Sometimes it's like they want me to help them design characters. Sometimes it's storyboards, you know.
Wow. So how do you even know where to begin in terms of how much to charge them? Do you just go to YouTube videos that talk about writing contracts and doing commission work and uh, pricing yourself at the right point in the market?
I usually just charge based on how much time I assume that it'll take me because it's really like what it's worth is just like my time because time that I spend on the commission is time that I have to take away from my own projects.
Right. Uh, since you've got so many projects that you have going all at the same time, so many that you you've been writing scripts on, are you finding yourself doing less and less commission work because you're looking to focus more heavily on these personal projects?
Yeah, if someone like comes to me and they're like, I want you to draw my comic for me, and it's going to be like 200 pages long, I usually like reject those kinds of really, really long commissions that would just take up too much of my time. But normally, like short stuff, like art pieces, that's fine. It doesn't take too long.
And then with commission pieces, since you work digitally, I presume you provide the finished product in digital format, or do people sometimes ask you to, you know, go through the effort of, let's see, I want this particular image, but I want it printed on canvas or something.
Yeah, I've definitely do like the commissions digitally every now and then. Like some people will want it in physical, and if they want it in physical, then I just charge them a little extra for how much it takes to print.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Hmm. Pretty sweet. Yeah, sorry, it seems like we're bouncing all over the place like a ping pong ball.
It happens.
Uh, what would you say is your favorite topic to cover when you do your YouTube videos?
Tough question. I guess I like doing reviews. I like talking about more positive things or just goofing off. Sometimes it can get a little bit stressful if the only thing you're talking about on YouTube is just like negative stuff. And that'll definitely get you views to talk about like negative relative stuff going on, but it doesn't do much for you mentally.
Well, that's a fact.
Yeah.
That's true. So you enjoy doing reviews?
Yeah, especially when I like read something or watch something that I really, really like and I just have to talk about it, gets me all giddy.
That's cool. So is it mostly like movies and TV series you're referring to, or animated movies?
Oh,
Or
just, everything.
all right. So you have a tendency to lean more towards doing reviews on things you enjoy rather than, adding to the content of the creators that are knocking all the bad points about it.
Well, here's the thing. It's definitely fun to roast a comic or something that you dislike, but then you also have to deal with the fans of that said thing being really mad at you, which is always a pain in the ass.
That's an interesting point. I mean, do you, when when that happens, do you typically catch a lot of flack on YouTube, on Twitter, or both?
Well, usually it's just like the YouTube comment section is on fire. But it's not that big a deal, but it does like discourage you when you're making videos because you're doing it to just have fun, and then there are a bunch of people taking it way too seriously.
Mm, yeah, true. So, on that note, do you have all right, you've had YouTube for, I mean, you've been a YouTuber for, did I read it right? Was it since 2016? Or was it?
It's been a few years.
So you've been doing YouTube for quite some time. Um, are you the type of creator who spends the time to read all the comments on all your videos, or do you like have a cutoff where, all right, anything older than a month, I'm not gonna read comment wise, good or bad?
There's definitely a lot of comments on YouTube. I usually just like glance over whatever recent comments people have every now and then, but I don't make an active uh, effort to read them all.
Yeah. Right now, being a very, very, very small, minuscule creator, I still have a tendency to try and read everything. Well, I mean, I actually hardly get any comments, so it's pretty easy. I mostly take the time to check because I've noticed there, and other YouTuber creators have pointed this out, there some like spammers and scammers
Oh
where,
yeah.
where I guess they buy viewers or they trick people into subbing to them, and then they take that account that has all those subs and then they sell it to someone else. So they immediately get all those subs.
Mm.
Uh, and one of the most recent ones that I found interesting and kind of creepy at the same time is the one where, like, mere seconds after you post a new video, uh, someone with a generic looking icon, no custom avatar, just a really bland generic one, it'll say something like, there will be a comment literally seconds after you upload it. And it'll say, "Hi, can we be friends?"
Oh yeah. I heard about that.
Yeah, I've been wanting to make a video of that because that that's freaky. And if there's any truth to them having a way of hacking your account and blocking your access to it, that concerns me.
Right, right.
um, King KDI says, so cover art would be a good thing for you to do, but not a 64-page book.
Basically.
That's reasonable. Uh, do you have any work up on Instagram or someplace where we can see it?
Yeah, I do have some art up on Instagram. I also post it to my Twitter, and I post a lot of it on Subscribestar and have a lot of it on my computer that's yet to be posted because it's for future stuff and I don't want to spoil anything. It's all that type of stuff.
Oh, okay. So is your Instagram intended or designed to be for showing off your works?
It's more so kind of like a blog,
Oh, all right.
just posting whatever. It's kind of like my YouTube. It's just posting whatever.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me see something here. Okay. Johnny Rando, welcome. Still waiting for my money for subscribing to this channel, dude. Okay. I promise you, I don't buy subs. I don't buy subs. My gosh, you have 2156 followers. That's nice.
Yeah.
Comic book writer, artist, reviewer, discusses nerdy things, makes songs, breathes in air. uh, and you did. Oh, you got a Black Flag Tumblr.
Yeah. Dan Fraga sent that over to me.
That's sweet. Yeah, his wife makes these tumblers.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Works with all the what is it called? Yeah, no, it's not. I forget the name of the material, but yeah. So you did a drawing based on this right here, huh?
No, that's actually his.
It's what?
That's his.
Oh, he included a sketch.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Thanks for the Tumblr and awesome art piece. Nice. Yeah, Dan Frigg is awesome. He's so cool. Bubble. Is this a character in one of your comics?
No, that's a character from Black Flag.
Right.
He has a little gift to him.
Oh, nice. Little fan art. Now I remember her. Tell us about Orgasm Girl. How did she come about? Like, had had you been plotting the story for some time?
Yeah, originally I was just going to make it like a goofy webcomic that I did on the side to just practice doing comics in general. And then at one point, I was convinced by an outside source that I should do a campaign for it. So I did that.
An outside source, huh?
Uh,
Hmm. Cool. I love Christmas. It's my favorite holiday.
yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, comparing your webcomic to this style, they literally are two different styles of work. And your ability to capture buildings and perspective.
That's I didn't do
Oh,
that.
oh my bad.
yeah.
Mario is a boxer, but I make a. Oh, the rest of this, all these sketches and stuff is all your stuff.
Yeah. Some stuff is like it's kind of scattered about. I'm not really like the artist on Orgasm Girl, but like I wrote it.
Gotcha. Oh my gosh, Dr. Pepper cotton candy. Is this actually good?
I don't know. I didn't try it out, but I was very curious.
Oh man. Yeah, I've seen this on sale, and I was like, I wonder how that tastes. I like cotton candy, but and I like Dr. Pepper, but I don't know.
And that one I won in a raffle.
You won that in the raffle?
Yep.
Dang, how sweet. Wait, how long ago was it? 68 weeks. Oh, okay. So it was clearly before the pandemic.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So before the pandemic, did you still go to comic book shops?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a fun thing to do. I still enjoy it. Uh, Seems like a lot of comic shops have lots of collectible sections. You know, toys and other merchandise, figurines, statues,
Yeah.
keychains, socks, T-shirts. Uh, it used to be the focus was on comic books, but now so much of it is merchandise beyond just comics.
Yeah. It is good to spread out though.
Yeah, I miss that stuff. This is all just digital art.
Yeah. Just like with a
Wow.
paintbrush on the computer.
And it almost looks like colorful aluminum foil.
Yeah.
That's like using certain tools, right? That highlight and make it pop.
Yeah. Multiple layers.
That's a trip. Is this Alita?
Yep.
Do you like the movie?
Oh yeah, it was a good movie.
I thought so too. I enjoyed it a lot. I still am hoping they do a sequel. Did you do this one?
Yep, that's my icon.
Yeah. What kind of hat is this, by the way?
Um, it's a very old hat that I got as a teenager, and it's basically just it's just like a normal fleece hat with two little cat ear nubs.
Huh. All right. The King KDI says the instant messages friendship ones usually get pulled into review for you as a content creator. I used to get a few of them, but my reply was always play Star Wars, The Old Republic, use my link. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know how, but they seem to bypass my pulled for review section. I mean, they seem to be displayed right there on my YouTube for all to see. So then I have to go and report it as unsolicited spam, and then I have to remove it. And it takes a minute or two for it to remove. So, how long did the Fallen Angel one take?
That one's a really old one. I'm not really sure, honestly. Maybe like a few hours.
That was just so cool.
Yeah, I always like those artists where they have like those super rough, sketchy paintings, but they look so nice and hyper realistic.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Right, so there's also this one. There's this right arrow as well as that right arrow. Oh,
Yeah, it's just like a little process.
oh wow, neat. When it comes to drawing, I'm way out of practice. I feel like I got to go nearly to the drawing board. Pun not intended. But what I mean by that is, I'll have a tendency to draw like an oval for the chest area, uh, a slightly curved spine for the spinal cord uh, structure. Just the blocked out shapes for the main parts of the human body,
Mm.
and draw more or less a very, very generic skeleton before drawing the form. Do you just go straight to the form, or do you also start with the really basic?
Yeah, I usually start with shapes just to understand how the body is moving before I start doing the outline.
Yeah, that is really cool. I like that a lot. That is very cool. Mata Nui says, I can barely do stick figures. Uh, you've probably seen it on places like Twitter and whatnot. And I even got kind of involved in one myself where uh, you do a drawing a day. And
Mhm.
I had challenges keeping up with that. So I would like do it every other day or every 2 days, and then I try and play catch up. But I stopped again, so I have to get back on and get into it again. Do you do things like that occasionally, like where you make it a point, a conscious point to um, do something like create some sort of finished piece, uh, at least one piece daily, just to keep the skill up, or do you just focus on creating art when the mood strikes you, when the inspiration strikes?
I mostly just focus on finishing up like projects that I'm currently working on or doing the commissions that I have to get done. I don't practice nearly as much as I used to now because it's just like there's always something to get done. But yeah, so I'm not the draw a finished art piece a day type person.
Yeah, I mean, and even what I'm doing is basically trying to do a sketch using a ballpoint pen in a notebook.
Hmm.
Uh, Sometimes I simply blank out and have no clue to what to even draw. uh,
Right.
I, I think that's where it becomes helpful to use reference source material. Just look up. Let's say you're interested in, maybe one day you're interested in drawing, say, a lion, but you don't really know how to draw a lion. So you have your phone handy. You look up, do an internet search for lions. You pick a pose that you like, and you draw from that, as opposed to trying to imagine all the details in your head and come up with it on the spot and transfer it to paper.
Hmm.
It's one of those. I think I have to, you know, accept that now and then. Uh, I should make use of reference material that's out there. Not so much for the purpose of copying, but just to have an idea of, you know, objects, things to draw.
Yeah.
Fade's got to get going, set up for his stream. See you, Fade. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging with us. Appreciate it. Considering you have all these varied projects and you have different channels to share your content with, do you have things set up in some specific way? Like, all right, so uh, the for example, is the focus like on the YouTube channel where you cover everything, and then if someone's interested in particular in webcomics, you redirect them to your website. If someone's interested in checking out occasional sketches and like daily life, check out your Instagram. Like, is YouTube the center of your hub, and then all other social media constructs are just other ways of promotion?
Well, I more so see YouTube as a good tool for like promoting my stuff, and it's other than that, it's more like a hobby, I guess, to do videos and to talk about this random stuff. But yeah, I definitely want to make stories as my like main thing. Make comics, art, animations, possibly.
Nice. I like this. Yeah. I mean, it looks like stained glass in the background.
Right. I was visiting like this cool looking chapel and I took a bunch of pictures and I was like, man, I want to do a little painting of this one spot.
Do you do any of your painting on like canvas with oils or acrylics or watercolors?
I've definitely done paintings on canvas. I did one like last year for a Christmas present for someone,
Ooh.
but I don't typically uh, do paintings on canvas. I barely do them even digitally.
Oh, okay. That's really cool though.
Yeah, it was fun. Fun little experiment.
Wait, what? Quiz Whiz?
So
Movies?
yeah, I found that in the attic one day.
It's in the attic. Was that something that was this like a prize or something? Something that you won at one time?
No.
Quiz Whiz.
That's it's for one of those old what was it, a Genesis? I guess it was like I don't even know. I don't
Flashback to
remember ever playing it.
90s Sega. Oh, Tiger. Huh. Oh, so this is like is this an actual cartridge game?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You think that's something that your parents used to play?
I I don't know about that, but I know that I never played the Quiz Whiz. I was all about Sonic and Mortal Kombat and stuff like that.
Yeah. I always thought Sonic was cool, but I think it always bothered my eyes, how fast it was and all the spinning and all the frenetic movement.
Right.
But the game itself and the idea behind it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, apparently somebody recognizes this game and they used to play it too. That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow, cartridge games. Oh my gosh. What was your experience with Orgasm Girl like? Was it your very first crowdfunded comic?
It was, and it was quite stressful of a start.
Now, what was it about it that became so stressful? Was it like having to learn all these, all the knowledge on how a crowdfunder works, how to factor in the shipping costs, uh, how to promote your campaign?
Yeah, all of that was stressful, but also just like working on a team. And I guess like 2 out of 3 of the people on the team at the time I didn't know that well. No, I guess I didn't know any of them that well. But and then at the end of the day, I ended up just working with a friend to do the comic instead.
Oh wow! So you fired the original team.
Well, it was like a neutral split up.
Uh, Man, it must have been a crazy experience. I mean, I've never done one of those campaigns, but from all the people I posted on my channel, there's quite a bit to it. Uh, but then you start to see patterns, things to watch out for, things to be mindful of, and if I'm not mistaken, wasn't your campaign fully funded?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. We
and
were fully funded this year.
you had all kinds of awesome perks and everything too. Uh, didn't you even do? Oh, wait, I'm thinking of. Yeah, yeah. So you found the overall experience kind of stressful.
Yeah.
Um, can you think of any, like, maybe three key points of things that you would do differently on your next campaign?
Guess for the next campaign, I'll probably. I don't know. That also assumes that I'll have a next campaign. I don't know what I'm doing with my life.
Well, it seems like you're geared for it. You've got so many ideas in the works and so many scripts. It sounds like that might be completed or just very close to final polishing.
You're right, right.
So maybe making the decision as to which one you want to focus on.
The next project I'll probably be all drawing on myself just to like cut back on different people I have to work with.
Well, I mean, yeah, that would be my tendency too. Uh, but I guess we're in like two different areas. Like, I am so out of practice, I don't feel my art is up to par for what I want to do. Actually, let me take that back a little. I've actually got two different IPs, and they're two totally different styles. One is like, what you'd see in the comic strips, the funny pages.
Mm.
And then the other is like a superhero, traditional superhero kind of story.
Mm.
I think what I might end up doing is releasing a book of comic strips, basically, because that style I think I can easily get back into while I'm practicing my skills and brushing the rust off my off my hand.
Right.
So I can get better till I can be pleased with the work I'm putting out. But
There are definitely a lot of people who are like putting together books with compilations of short comics. So
yeah, and then there are also people who are simply doing art books, and those are
yeah, that's another thing.
yeah. I mean, if I had enough pieces to warrant an art book, that's the way I would have gone. But so much of my work is like sketches and uh, you know light drawings and that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed drawing, but it's not where, like, some people, they work on their craft and maybe been doing it for a year or more. And by the end of that year, they've got this collection of, finished pieces. Uh, I'm like the type who doesn't have a whole lot of finished pieces. I have so many works in progress, and a ton of my work is. Do you ever take, when you were in school? Did you ever take those live figure drawing classes?
Yeah.
Yeah, I took one quarter, one semester, and it was a blast. But uh, I most of my stuff is like on the giant newsprint because we were using charcoals and pencils and things like that. So yeah.
Right.
So let's suppose that you are ramping up to do, say, another Indiegogo campaign. As an example. Uh, oh, hey, welcome, stencil artist Ian. Good to have you. Oh my gosh, what? It looks like a jet fighter pilot mask you're wearing there. Um, so let's say you're ramping up, you're gonna do, I don't know if you have plans for it. I thought we had discussions about it, but I couldn't find it in our chat history. But let's say you want to pursue Orgasm Girl 2. Uh, number one, would you go with Indiegogo again?
I guess. I mean, Indiegogo's the place to go.
So would you be inclined to want to focus on doing as much of uh, the work on the book as possible, interiors, cover, whatnot, and or possibly even bring in like a guest artist to do a variant cover?
I'd probably have another other artist to do a second one. But,
Are there any particular like issues or lessons learned aside from uh, selecting the right crew to work with? Any other like hurdles, I guess you might say, that you can envision being able to skip with your experience in hindsight?
I guess you just like gotta make sure that you and your artist have like the same vision, same understanding, and that you won't bump heads with each other. But most writers, I think, who work on comics with somebody else, I think they're gonna bump heads with their artist regardless. Because once the artist is like drawing up your characters or coming up with their concept art, it's like they feel like they have some ownership over the characters and the story and the stuff. So it'll lead them to be making their own little creative decisions, and sometimes you won't want those. So I hear it really often that writers are not getting along with their artists.
That does happen sometimes. And then sometimes you get lucky and you find you gel with the right person and you're on the same page. You have like a connection or a chemistry, and you just gel well with each other and can bounce ideas back and forth. And they can do preliminary sketches. You check it out as the creator and writer, and say, what I'm looking for here is for this person's head to be kind of looking down in this direction. They need to have a more concerned eye at this fragment they're inspecting, and then goes back to the artist. They make their fine-tuned adjustments in the rough sketching, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm. In a perfect world.
Yeah. Yeah, I say that, but it's easier said than done, right?
Yeah,
right. King KDI says, do both. You can go and Indiegogo, but you can always kickstart a bigger audience on Kickstarter. I generally speaking, right now, I'm still a pretty big Indiegogo proponent. I know that a lot of books are uh, advertised and promoted on Kickstarter as well.
Hmm.
Uh, but I hear that Indiegogo uh, is nice for creators because you can have an in demand period,
Right.
whereas Kickstarter doesn't offer that. It's just like uh, set time period, set and done, and then it's over. I like the in demand option, and when I got back into comics, I don't know if you know, but I stopped collecting. I used to collect comics as a kid, to the point at which I was buying maybe $40 worth in comics every other week,
Mhm.
and but then around the time, I think it was the early '80s. I could be wrong because I suck at dates, but I think around that time, one of the things that started bugging me about comics is when they increased from 75 cents a floppy comic to $1.25 to $1.50. So, the very price increase was becoming a turnoff for me.
Mm.
It was becoming more unaffordable for me to get all the books I wanted.
Right.
And then the other was the trend of becoming more agenda based and going more into politics and trying to bring a deeper, more gritty realism to the books and bring the real world into the comics.
Mm.
And for me, comics has always been escapism for me. I've always enjoyed, even campiness and humor, That's what drew me to comic books. You got these superheroes, superheroines. They're all buffed out and muscles all over. They're saving the world. They're saving people um, from certain death from these menacing villains. And that's the kind of stuff I dug. It was an escape from the drama and negativity of the real world, right?
Right.
So that's what I was digging. So I ended up stopping collecting comic books, and then it wasn't until recently where I got involved in the Fandom, Menace, and Comicsgate. Um, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but are you pretty familiar with both of those?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So I got involved in both of them. Realized there was a huge community in both areas. Fandom Menace for mostly movie franchises and TV series, Comicsgate for comic books, and I found a real connection there, and I got really jazzed at the idea of uh, existing comic book creators as well as new up and coming creators, not necessarily part of the mainstream comic book industry, creating their own stuff. So yeah, that's how I got really into it. So I only started like September, October of last year.
Mm.
Yeah, so everything I've learned about crowdfunding and creating comics has just been over this past period, about a year ago. But from what I've been able to tell, making a long story long, is that the um, Indiegogo tends to be more uh, business and capitalist focused, and they know their places as a processor. You know, there's an exchange of goods, You're backing a project, someone's passion project, and with the hope that it'll come to fruition. Uh,
Right.
and Indiegogo versus Kickstarter, Indiegogo has a tendency to be more friendly, I guess you could say, towards creators of the comics variety, whereas Kickstarter is seems to be more and more going down this path where they wanted to decide who is and who isn't worthy of having the platform to sell their book, you know.
Right. Mm.
And then Max Wertz says, "I swear I won't bump heads or claim ownership on your characters, Trisha." uh, all right. Well, that was a trip. Uh, I was wondering, was there anything in particular you wanted to share? Maybe upcoming projects, any inspirational thoughts?
Nothing to be announced just yet. I want to wait until I have like some stuff to show for newer projects till I share them with everyone. But I'm always working on something new. I bounce around scripts all the time.
Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I think we will call this a wrap. Wait a minute. So what is this? Some sketches for the 6 Fan Arts Challenge.
Oh yeah, that was another thing that like went viral. You draw like 6 fan arts of characters that people request.
Cool. Wait, so you start off with 6 blank boxes, right? And then you share with your audience, "I'm doing this challenge. I give me 6 characters for me to sketch, and I'll do it."
Right.
Sweet. Yeah, I've seen that on and off on Twitter. Very cool stuff. I mean, you're freaking pretty amazing. You really are. You're so very cool and down to earth too.
I do what I can.
King KDI says IGG is currently run by people who know what commerce is and their place within it. Although Kickstarter got rid of 40% of their staff, I bet 100% were within the union and are SJWs. But Mike Miller is on Kickstarter. Yeah. Yeah, Mike S. Miller. He had this project called Bless This Mess, which, as I recall, didn't do very well.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was kind of sad. Max Worth says, I posted this challenge a few days ago, collecting characters. Check it out on Twitter. Sweet. I'll definitely have to check that out. All right. So, Trisha, you've got the stage. Would you do us the honor and share with the world how you can be found on social media?
You can find me on YouTube as Dannphan. You can find me on Twitter. I think the Twitter handle is at Trisha Cuffari. It's my real name. I know, weird. And on Instagram, also as Dannphan. And I also have a website where I post all my comics, and it's called burningstarcomics.net. And I think that's everything.
Nice. And I'm gonna try. Whoa! Oh! What happened? What happened? What the heck? Everyone still there? All right.
You okay?
Yeah. I must have. eh, Have you ever set up your computer so that you've got these hot corners, and you can transition over to a screensaver that locks the
Mm.
screen? I accidentally moved the cursor too far in one corner, and it activated the hot corner. The screen went black. It gave me my login prompt, uh, so I had to log back in, unlock my workstation. Um,
Oh boy.
yeah, so right on, right on. Oh, out of curiosity, Kufari, what origin is that? Ancestral.
It might be Italian, Sicilian. I'm not really quite sure, but
It sounded a little Italian based on the I at the end.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Right on. And then, as usual, you can find me on Twitter at WyzGyz Tweets, on Twitch at WyzGyz Twitches, on YouTube under WyzGyz Entertainment. Uh, Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications. Uh, Indicate that you want all notifications so you hopefully don't miss a stream or a video. And be sure and check out the description on the video down below, because you will see uh, her social media contacts. And then yes, her social media contacts will be there. I think I have to add Instagram.
Nope. Sounds like he cut out.
Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Can anyone see me? Testing, 1, 2, 3. Holy crap. Comment, 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 post comment. Oh, let me try here on the. Can anybody hear me? Holy crap, man. That was wild. Max Work says, I wish you all a good night. Wolverine says, RIP. Ta ta for now. Oh no, the world's overrun by zombies now, isn't it? This is a zombie alert message, isn't it? Let me see. Dang. Oh, shoot. Oops. Uh-oh. Get out of here. Whoop. Holy crap. Oh, wow. That was messed up. Yeah. Actually, in this case, it was not a matter of locking myself out of my computer. I physically have two monitors, but one of them is down right now, and I'm troubleshooting to figure out if it's a monitor itself or if it happens to be the video card, the port on the video card. Yeah, so it's been hot and muggy today outside. So I've just had the doors and windows closed and the AC on, keep things cool. And whoa. And then come to find out, all right, all right, all right, all right. Are you frozen or is it my? Oh, hey, Unhinged, how's it going? Uh, it probably looked like I was frozen. At first, it was like my camera was like tracking slowly or something, or it was uh, frozen momentarily, or looking choppy. Uh, but it should be okay now. We've got hot, muggy weather right now. Excuse me. And as I was closing up the stream with Trisha, suddenly a flash of lightning and some thunder sounded, and it momentarily turned off my AC and turned it back on, and it rebooted my computer. That's why I was out of commission and kicked out of StreamYard. So yeah, it. I was down momentarily. That was weird. I'm not. It didn't seem to take down my internet, as far as I could tell. I think it just triggered my computer to reboot. And I tried to get in on StreamYard on my phone, but I don't know if you guys could hear me. Ugh. Excuse me, while I was on my phone, but I appear to be up and running again, so that was crazy. So that was a bummer. We were just coming to the close and doing final remarks and whatnot. And the whole stream got blown away momentarily. And let's see. Listening, not watching. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so that is pretty much it for this stream. I wanted to thank everybody for joining us today. Everyone in chat, everyone who watches this on replay. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Mark the bell for notifications and indicate that you want to get all notifications so you make sure you hopefully don't miss a single video or stream. Ultimate special thanks to our special guest today, Trisha Cuffari. Thank you, Trisha, if you happen to catch the very, very end of this. But I also thanked her for coming on through Twitter DM. And we are going to call it. And assuming power stays up, I should be back at 6 p.m. tonight. We'll be on with Marcel Dupree promoting Vatita Awakening. All right. So, yeah, lol. I'll try next time. Hail. Hail, everyone in chat. Thank you all for joining us. Appreciate your support. Greatly appreciate it. And so I'll be back in a little more than half an hour for the next stream. So we are ending broadcast in